Welcome to My Spoonie Sisters, featuring stories from special guests dedicated to empowering those with chronic illness. Our goal? To connect people and provide the support and tools they need to live a better life. For those with chronic illness, our energy levels just fade faster. We must be more purposeful with the spoons allotted to us. So grab your coffee or tea, sister, and tune in as My Spoonie Sisters share stories of living with chronic illness. Hi, my Spoonie Sisters. I'm Gracefully Jen, and I am here with Nicole today.
Hi.
How are you today?
We're doing, well, I don't want to say we, but since I am growing another human, we're doing good over here.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. I am so excited for us to chat face to face. We were just talking before we hit record about how we've chatted and seen each other for a while, but it's nice to be able to do it face to face for once.
Yes, it is. Finally.
I feel like I know everybody. So where I want to start right now is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am Nicole, if you guys don't know me. You can find me on LifeWithRa on Instagram. I'm 31 years old and I've been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis for 12 years now. So it was just about a week shy of my 20th birthday that I was diagnosed. And at that time, I'm like, what the heck is rheumatoid arthritis, you know? And just like most people too who were diagnosed, they're like, what the heck is this? So that's me. I've been dealing with this for 12 years and I just keep pushing and keep going.
And for those of you that don't know, she has a YouTube, which has been so much fun to watch. She shares why don't I let you tell what you share? You share all kinds of things.
Yeah, so right now I'm just sharing my story and what I've been through. So I have my diagnosis stories, my diagnosis story, and then I have my recent one that I just posted yesterday was my little trip to the ER and also my little hiking trip. But when it comes to the ER, it's hard because those doctors aren't specialists. So sometimes it's a hit or miss when it comes to the emergency room. You know, sometimes you go spend hours there and, you know, they're like, here's an ibuprofen and wait till you see your rheumatologist. And luckily with this visit, I was able to see, the doctor was able to get the fluid out of my knee that was bothering me. So like I said, it's hit or miss. And this time, thank God it was a hit.
Now, has this happened to you before?
Have gotten fluid in my knee? Yes. I've had fluid drained from my knee. I've had cortisone shots in my knee, my hip, my elbows, my pelvic bone, even because it was so painful to where I couldn't even open my legs or just like far enough to just walk regular. And he tried to give me a cortisone shot in my pelvic and it didn't even work. So I suffered for that pain for no reason. But it did help with the rest of my body. So, I mean, the pelvic pain was just not going away. And it wasn't until then where I realized I would need a hip replacement because of that.
And how long ago was your hip replacement?
So my first hip replacement was 4 years ago. And then my second getting my left hip replaced was in 2020. So 2 years ago, this September.
Wow. And how is it going so far?
It's going good. I've had no problems. I mean, we do have precautions that we have to follow. You know, we can't bring our leg to a 90-degree angle. We can't cross our legs. We can't turn certain positions. So, but luckily it's going great for me. I'm able to move better. I'm able to walk. I'm able to do the things that were limiting me before.
And you're doing little hikes.
Yes. Even though I'm over here waddling with a swollen knee, I'm still doing hikes. I'm not going to let it stop me.
And for those of you that haven't seen it, you need to go look at her page and you need to go look at all the pictures because it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think so far my favorite state that I've been to is probably Utah. So
It's gorgeous.
yeah, but I've really only stuck to the states on the West Coast. So because, you know, that's where I'm at. So I know Central is probably has the most beautiful national parks as well. Um, sorry, New York, but do you guys have national parks?
I don't even know. I think we should talk to Chelsea
Yeah.
because I mean, I live on the West Coast too. And I mean, other than a few trips to the other side of the states, I don't really get over there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's California, Oregon, Utah, Idaho, Washington. I mean, it's all of
Right.
that I travel. I've been to Texas once. I've been in North Carolina once, Oklahoma once. That's probably it outside of the West. So we need to find out more about it.
Yeah,
It looks beautiful. I think they
it
have
does.
Niagara Falls over there.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be fun.
But I hear that the best view is on Canada's side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Maybe do a circle, do the whole
right,
thing.
right.
All right. So, how long have you been familiar with the term Spoonie?
It wasn't until I want to say like maybe not that long, recently, I would say probably about I'll say 2 years. I'll say 2 years, but I never really used the term for myself. It was more like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool way to explain things, when I first heard about it. And I said, that's interesting. And I had explained it to my sisters. This was before my oldest sister was diagnosed with RA, and she was just like, oh, okay. Like, okay, that's cool. Sometimes people don't get it until they have to get it, unfortunately. But
That's so, so true.
yeah,
So,
so
you said your sister has it also?
yeah, she was diagnosed during the pandemic. So she's kind of fresh with this, so I'm like, "Hey, you're a Spoonie now too." She's like, "You know what? Now I get it. Now I see what you mean about running out of spoons and, limiting yourself to what you're going to do because you don't want to run out." So I said, "Yeah, girl, it gets tough sometimes."
Exactly. And I mean, at least the nice thing is you guys can relate to each other and you can be there for her and kind of help walk her through
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good thing too. Yes.
that's really important to have somebody by your side that really understands because I think I know for me it was so lonely feeling like I was in it all by myself.
Right. I felt like that too, especially being diagnosed at 19. I know there's people that get diagnosed younger or, like even, juvenile. And so it's hard to just connect with a person on that level and then not come off as whiny or, because all they understand is like, oh, like my legs hurt from wearing these heels,
Right.
especially at 19. So it's nice to connect with people on a certain level to where they understand your pain.
How much has your treatment plan changed now that you're pregnant?
So it's changed a lot. So before I got pregnant, I was on Orencia, and I only did it for about a month because you're not supposed to take Orencia while you're pregnant. But I was also on sulfasalazine and Plaquenil. Now, I haven't told my doctors yet, but I've stopped taking the Plaquenil only because it's starting to upset my stomach. And I don't want that. I've tried taking half. They've told me before, if it starts to upset your stomach again, just take half. I've tried taking half. It's not working. It's still upsetting my stomach, even with the stomach coaters that they give me, which is just Pepsid. Yeah. And before I was pregnant, it was omeprazole, which was working wonders for me. So now I'm just pretty much on Enbrel.
Do you feel like it's working okay?
Yeah, I feel okay. I do notice I'm having a little bit more aches, but it's not like a complete body flare up where I need something. And it's more like I guess in our language tolerable.
Right. Now, I that is the one medication I can definitely say I have not done. Is that infusion or is that pill or is that an injection?
Oh, yeah, because you've had a lot.
I
You've
have had a
tried,
lot,
I think you've tried everything.
almost everything. So how do you take Enbrel?
Mine's a self-injection. It's more I guess they came out with a new auto touch, and I have yet to try that. But so far it's just the sure click.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, let's see. So I've done a lot of ones where I've had to self-inject. I think the only one that was a little bit different was it's going to leave my brain. What was it called? Cosentix.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was one of the ones where like I had to do it once a week and you pound it on your thigh and you wait for the one click and then you wait for the two. Yeah. And
How did that work for you?
that was okay. I s- I don't know if it's ever going to get easier. It always scares me. I don't even know why. I've been through so much that you'd think it would get easier, but
It
something
doesn't.
about a needle, it just seems so wrong.
And it's it's like that click of the needle of the pen is like a traumatizing sound because you know it's coming and you're just like so cringe about it. So it's
Yeah.
like a traumatizing sound for me. It's like once I hear that click, I'm like, ugh.
Well, and it feels like it takes forever to go in.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're sitting there for ages and you're just kind of counting down, like, okay, is this over yet? Is this over? I need that click. Can I
Yeah.
be done?
Yeah.
So for me, though, I think I was only on it maybe a month when they decided it wasn't doing anything for me.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And what are you on now? Methotrexate? Or have you stopped?
So I am on, so they took me off of everything when I had my allergic reaction causing the psoriasis.
Mm.
And what they had me do was try the Cosentix, didn't work. And then it was Otezla, and I've been on Otezla ever since. But this fall, I just started hurting so much more than I had in probably a couple years. And
Uh-huh.
finally, I was like, we've got to get something. I'm to the point where I will do whatever you need me to do, but we've got to figure out a combination of something to make this stop. And
Yeah.
so that's when they added the methotrexate back in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it work for you though, the methotrexate?
I mean, it seems like it's helping a little, and I guess I'll take a little. I mean, it was so bad that I actually told her I was willing to take prednisone again. And
Oh, yeah.
I told her I wouldn't take prednisone way back in like 2014.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I don't know about you, but it causes all kinds of not fun side effects. And the weight gain is probably the worst one. I can't stand it.
Yeah, they actually recently put me on a low dose of prednisone, and that reminds me I have a prescription to go pick up. But they told me that as long as it's under 10 milligrams, it's safe for the baby.
Oh, that's good.
So it's not a high dose of, steroid, but I understand what you mean with the side effects. And that's what I had with methotrexate years ago. And I haven't been on methotrexate since because I know it's not, some medicines are just, yeah, they work, but they're not for you, you know? And
Yeah.
then when it comes with the side effects, you're like, oh, I'd rather suffer through the pain.
Well, and everyone's so different. And so I could talk to you, I could talk to Chelsea, I could talk to any of our Spoonie sisters, and what you guys are doing might work perfect for you. And it's just going to do
Right.
nothing for me. And whatever I'm doing might not do anything for you.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard with the prednisone. I'm not a tall person. I'm only five. I say I'm 5'2" on a good day.
Same.
And so at the time, when I started having all my problems, I lost a lot of weight because
Mhm.
I was in pain and my stomach was causing me fits. And so I just never wanted to eat and I lost a lot of weight. And I think I was down to 98 pounds
Oh my
when I
goodness.
saw the rheumatologist. And so the first thing he said was, well, we need to get you on prednisone and get some weight back on you.
Yeah.
How's putting weight on me going to stop the
I
pain? Okay. And I gained 40 pounds fast. So it was a lot of just dealing with the up and down with the weight that I
right.
was like, you know what? It's not doing enough for me and it's making me hungry all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm done.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
How does it go with a low dose? Do you feel like the side effects are
Um,
not as bad?
no, the side effects are not as bad with this, at least not for me anyways, but this low doses, and I take 3, so it's about 7.5. So it's not that bad. Um, I haven't had, I get hungry, but I'm not like out of control hungry, like where I never feel full. Because sometimes I've felt like that before with prednisone in the earlier days. But this time around, it's not like that. So thank
Yeah.
God.
Well, and that's how I was. I was hungry all the time. It didn't matter how much I ate. Three
Yeah.
hours later, I thought I was starving again. And I knew I wasn't, but it's really hard to tell your body no when it thinks it's hungry.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
well, is there anything that you wish you would have known at the beginning of your journey?
I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I thought, oh, okay, I have rheumatoid arthritis. So I'm going to have these aches and pains. I can do this. I mean, I'm doing it, yeah, because I have to. But I didn't think it was going to be this hard or this painful. And I didn't think I had seen, like when you go to the doctor's office, they show, the deformities of hands and stuff like that. And you always think to yourself, oh, that happens like in older people, especially since I was younger, oh, that's just, they've had years and years of, arthritis. And so I didn't realize how fast and how aggressive it really is and how it affects everybody's body differently as well. So that was one thing that like slapped me in the face and was like, here you go. Here's your wake up call.
How did it affect your friendships?
So I didn't really lose any friendships over it. They were all very understanding, which is good. Not a lot of people have that. And the only thing was I don't think they fully understood the severity. I mean, just like I did, because maybe I downplayed it because I wasn't exactly, this is what's going to happen. I'm so worried. And maybe it was more of me downplaying it. So they're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, so I think it was a little bit on my part too, because like I said, I didn't know the severity of it.
Well, and being 19 too, you probably didn't have any kind of deformities and
No.
you looked completely normal and healthy. And so to them, it's like, oh yeah, she has it, but she seems okay.
Yeah. She's still walking fine. She's still moving, still
Yeah.
running, still. So I think that's what it was too. Yeah.
Calling all Spoonies. As a host of a chronic illness podcast, nothing lights up my day more than hearing from you, our incredible listeners. Whether it's a topic close to your heart that you want us to uncover, or you are keen to show your own journey as a guest on our show, your voice matters. Living with chronic illness can often feel isolating, but through the power of podcasting, we can come together as a community to uplift, educate, and inspire one another. Your stories, insights, and questions drive the conversations we have and the topics we explore. So if there's something on your mind, a story that you are just itching to share, or a guest you'd love to hear from, don't hesitate to reach out. Your voice is not only welcomed here, but celebrated. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those living with chronic illnesses and create a space where everyone feels heard, supported, and empowered. Together, we are stronger.
Was it hard on any of your relationships or your family just watching you go through this?
So once I started to get that pain in my hip to where it was getting very difficult for me to dress myself even. So my younger sister, who's 6 years younger than I, she would help me. Sometimes she had to help me get off the toilet because I couldn't get off. She would have to help me get out of the shower because I couldn't lift my leg high enough to get out of the tub. And my oldest sister, she saw it when she was there, but she wasn't living with my younger sister and my mom at the time. So she saw it when she came over, but it was more my younger sister that helped me. And also my husband now, he's had to help me so much, especially like going up and down the stairs. He's had to carry me. It was very emotional and physically draining. Just having to just one day I'm fine and then all of a sudden it just goes downhill to where I need help.
Well, and I think as a family member, it's heartbreaking
Yeah.
because they can help you but they can't fix it. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's so hard on so many family members is they're watching us go through these things and there's nothing they can do. They're helpless.
Yeah. And I think that that's hard for a lot of us too, because even when people message me or tell me, I'm dealing with this pain, like what can I do? And like how we were saying earlier, we don't want to be liable for, and it works for me, but I can suggest something to you, but it might not work for you, and I don't want you to get your hopes up because I'm suggesting this for you and what if it doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
it is heartbreaking to hear other people's stories too. Like, I'm in so much pain right now, and and I get it because most of us have all been there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at that point, sometimes there's nothing you really can do is just push through that flare up.
Well, and I don't know about you, but there's times where I just want to reach to that computer and give people a hug because
Yeah,
I know how they're feeling. And gosh, it's interesting to be on the other side, wanting to help somebody and wanting to fix it and make it better. And there's nothing we
yeah,
can do except
I know.
be there for them and listen. It's
Yeah,
hard.
it is hard. And then you're not feeling 100% yourself either, but you're still like, just come here, I'll hug you. Oh, what do you need?
It's part of why I post my stories and say, okay, who needs some happy mail? Because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just like, you know what? If I can make your day a little brighter by sending a card, I'll
Yeah.
do it because it's something. It's more than I can do from here anyway. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
You're the go-to for Happy Mail.
I sure try. I really do. But I got some awesome happy mail the other day. Colleen surprised me. She knows
Oh,
how
I
much I like
saw.
Snoopy. I almost said
Yeah.
Spoonie. Snoopy. And so she sent me that t-shirt. I was like,
Oh,
oh
that's
my
so
gosh, that's
sweet of
so
her.
sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to wear that. I actually have a Snoopy shirt on today. It's a tank top under this, but I woke up and it's 55 degrees here.
Oh my gosh.
It was 76 yesterday.
I know.
What in the world?
You don't know if you should wear a dress or a turtleneck.
But I don't know about you. I mean, you live in California. What part
Yeah.
are you in?
Southern.
Okay, so I'm over in the eastern part of Washington in like this little bubble of desert. And everyone thinks, Washington, you live somewhere so beautiful. No, I live in the desert. There's mountains on every side of me, and I live in this little bubble of desert.
Oh,
And in one day, I could have a tank top, a jacket, a coat. You
you got
never
to keep
know.
your wardrobe in your car. You have
You
to.
never know. What does your self-care list consist of?
Oh gosh. I'm happy with lotion.
Do you have a special kind of
I'm happy
lotion?
with I like to use the Jergens skin firming lotion. If it's for my face, I use what do I use? Olay vitamin C with retinol. Yeah. Nothing fancy. A lot of people used to tell me like, "Oh, what's your skincare regimen?" And I'm like, I just wash my face, slap on some lotion."
You need to just answer and say, it's
That's
called genetics.
it. And so I'm like, "Oh, like now I get it. Now that I'm getting a little bit older and I'm like, oh, okay, now I need a little bit more oil. I need a little bit more cream and a little bit of toner."
I can
So,
tell a difference if I don't wash my face and moisturize.
oh,
I swear it makes me look 10 years older. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. But lotion is a big deal. We need
yeah,
it.
yeah. I can't be without lotion. But I don't really have like a self-care type thing. I mean, I'll indulge in some dark chocolate. Um, I'm a very big movie person, so anything with movies, that's I'm happy.
Do you like to get your hair done, your nails done, any of that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, so I have recently signed up to go take a class to learn to do like acrylics and like the gel X. So I'm like, yes, now I could do everybody's nails. I'm all excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I need to move to California.
Yeah, but I'm very much into like the beauty industry. I love anything makeup, anything nails, anything, hair. I'm all for it.
I think you need some YouTube episodes of like life hacks doing makeup with RA pain. Something like
Yeah. Yeah, because since I've been diagnosed, well, not, I don't want to say since I've been diagnosed, but since my hands have been more inflamed and I have nodules on my hands and on my elbows, sometimes it's hard for me to turn my wrist. So when I put on eyeshadow, I do it a certain way. It's not like how everybody is like this. I have to like hold the brush a certain way. And so it's a change, and I had to adjust to that because like my eyeshadow wasn't applying the same as before. So I'm like, oh, I need to figure something out. And so I maybe that's what I should do too. Invent some brushes for RA friendly hands.
there you go. Well, I'm putting out a challenge. I want to see you share a video on how to do makeup with
Okay.
RA pain. That's my challenge.
Okay.
Do you struggle with doing your hair at all? Because I know I do from my shoulder pain.
At times I did. Right now, thank God, no, but at times there was times where I couldn't even put my hair in a ponytail. My husband had to learn how to do it for me. And let me tell you, the beginning was not pretty. God bless his
Imagine.
soul, but it was not pretty. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna ask your mom or your sister if they could fix it for me.
Thanks for trying, honey.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine asking my husband to do my hair.
Yeah. I mean, it was as far as a ponytail went, that was it. He was not gonna curl my hair. He was not gonna straighten it.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if my husband could handle it. When I first met him, his daughter would always be like, Jennifer, will you help me with my hair? Daddy, you're not doing it right. It doesn't feel right.
Oh,
Everything
yeah.
was feel. And all he was trying to do was put a ponytail in.
Oh my goodness. Don't
So
even ask for a braid.
so I like if I get to the point where I can't do my hair, um somebody come help me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, there's
Madison.
I know. Right now, she lives a half a mile away. So it's like, Madison, I need
Oh,
your
nice.
help.
That's nice.
But if she ever moves, I don't know what I'm going to do.
We'll both be struggling.
Well, our oldest, she was a hairdresser when she still lived here. So that
Oh,
was really nice.
yeah.
And when she was in school, I had her practice on me.
Oh,
Well, that was
nice.
very helpful. But now she lives in Phoenix.
Oh, man.
So
Come back.
I know. I know, right? Well, okay. I have another one for you. What is your most triumphant warrior moment?
Oh gosh. I've had a lot.
You can name all of them. I don't care.
Okay, so being able to dress myself, that was huge. I've had to learn tricks how to dress myself because I wasn't able to be like everybody else where I put one leg in at a time for my pants. So that was, well, that's one thing that I hope to put up as well is the adjustments that I had to make when I was really struggling in my hard time. So what I did was I would lay my pants on the floor and wiggle my feet in just enough until they were reachable. And
That's
then I would be
genius.
just pull them up. Yeah. Buttons, forget it. Out of the question. Don't even bother. Putting my shirt on, I had to or taking it off and putting it on, I had to bend over, all the way, kind of as well as much as I could go because I couldn't go far. Um, and then put it over my head first and put one arm in at a time because to lift up my arms was ridiculous. Um, yeah, so that was a point where I wasn't able to do my hair. And um, after I had my hips replaced, that's when I was able to move more. I was getting my pants up. Um, I was able to go for walks because walking a certain distance was unbearable. I used to have a walker with a seat on it.
Oh, those
And
are awesome.
yes, so my sister-in-law or my sister, whoever I was with, I would just sit down and they would just push me. So it's been tough. I've had a rough patch, but I'm finally overcoming that. And I would say my biggest triumphant moment is probably being able to hike those hikes that I've been to out in Utah. So because I've definitely wasn't able to go up or go over rocks during the hiking trails. Just the fear of falling. Even now, I still kind of have a fear of falling because I can't help myself get back up. I need somebody there to help me.
Well, and you have to worry about damaging from your surgery. You don't
That
want to have
too.
to go
Yeah,
back and have it redone.
that too.
Oh, yeah. I find that when I'm hiking with my family, when I start to get nervous or something looks a little sketchy, I kind of just stop and freeze and I stand there until my husband finally turns around and realizes I'm not there. And I'm waving, come back, help me. I need over this rock.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's so good that, they're there to help you.
Yeah.
So that's my husband too. He's like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you need help? Do you want to stop?" And, sometimes those questions, even though I don't, or sometimes I don't, just him asking is such a big help. So
It
just
is.
knowing that his support there is, offered.
Just taking the time to turn around and check on you and ask if you need anything. It goes a long way. Even if you don't actually need anything, it just feels good to know that he cares.
Right.
So you touched on nodules earlier. For people that don't know what those are or haven't experienced them, can you kind of explain what that is?
Um, I still don't even really know what they are. What is it? Like a lump of bone, a lump of cartilage, a lump of it's just like
It's a weird lump.
it's a weird lump on your joint. So mine is like on my wrist. I don't know if you can see like how big it is. I have them on my hands, like on my knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one, it's on one side over here. And my husband's always like, "Is that your bone sticking out?" And I'm like, "It's my nodule. Thank you very much." But we'll
It's my
pretend
little
it's a
friend.
bone.
I have a few. I don't have a whole bunch, but I have a few. And I just think of them as my little friend.
Yeah. Where do you have yours?
So I have, which arm was it? I have one on an arm somewhere around here. And then I have a couple on my legs and one on my shoulder.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, but my hands haven't gotten too bad yet, which is weird because
Don't say yet. Don't
I
say yet.
know, I'll tell you, there for a while, I think it was back in 2012, I was really nervous about my hands because they hurt so bad all the time. And so I was convinced that that meant that they were changing and deforming and that within the next year I was going to look like an old person. Well, that's
Oh,
not necessarily true.
yeah.
And I mean, do you remember Allison not long ago sharing the picture of her hands and talking about that slant?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a term for it. And I finally noticed like my hands are like slanted.
Now I'm checking mine.
I know. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Thank you
Yeah,
for sharing that fun fact. I didn't know there was a word for it.
thanks. Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Are you still able to have like full like function in your hands, or are they still, or do they get weak or?
I do really well most of the time, but when I'm flaring, forget about it. Those are the times, and well, even when I'm doing okay, there's times where, and I was even going to ask you about that. I struggle with water bottles a lot. For well, anything with a lid, I struggle with things with a lid,
Yeah.
and so whoever's nearby. I mean, even here at work, I'll run into the other office. Can you please open this for me?
Oh, I just use my teeth. Oh.
Well, I finally went. There's quite a few people. There's Laura with RA Life Hacks. She shares a lot of fun tools. Colleen's shared tools. So I have gone and bought quite a few different gadgets off of Amazon.
Yeah.
And so I have these like rubber round things that you can like put on top of something.
Yeah.
Grips it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I have those. I even have these like, I don't know how to describe it. It's this like weird red shaped thing that you can set on top of a lid and there's different sizes.
Yeah, it's
in
like
it.
3 different sizes. And you
Yeah.
just open it and then
Yeah.
yeah.
That thing is amazing. I got the Kitchen Mama can opener.
Oh yeah. I see Colleen use that all the time. I'm like, I need one of those.
Okay, so Amazon or you can go to their website and they usually have a coupon code if you look on IG.
Mhm.
And maybe I actually need to find out if I can get a coupon code for the website. But it's amazing. Even my husband loves it. Everyone in my family loves it. You seriously just set it on top of the can, push the button, and watch it.
Yeah. Have you seen Ashley Nicole? She posted her jar opener. It was like a little machine. I'm like, girl, I need one of those. I need one of those too.
Yes.
I'm usually just banging the crap out of the lid with a knife, give it a little
Yes.
love tap, and then it opens. So
I do that a lot too, especially when I'm by myself. But now that I
yeah.
have those little contraptions, I've been using those. I've also seen quite a few people have shared videos where they have the thing that's like attached under the cupboard.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes. And you just like push it and it opens.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
That's pretty cool.
Where were these like 10 years ago?
Yeah. I definitely so I was older than you when I was diagnosed. I was around 30 when I started having the problems. I think the diagnosis finally happened when I was 31. And so I really wish I would have had all that.
Yeah.
Because I had middle school age kids that I needed to bug all the time for help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but they come in handy.
You know, they do. And, you know, at the time, I think they kept looking at me like, you look fine. Like, why? But as the kids
Yeah.
got older, definitely into high school, they finally like really realized like, this is an issue, especially when they had to push me around at the zoo one time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, at
Okay.
least you were at Disneyland though.
What's that?
You said you were at Disneyland?
No, we were at the zoo.
Oh, at the zoo. Oh, I thought you said they pushed you around Disney.
No, I
And I was
wish.
gonna say, well, at least you had a nice view at the zoo.
Yeah, we were at the Portland Zoo and I could not keep up with the family. And finally, my husband was like, okay, that's it. And he went and got one. And so they had fun pushing me around the rest of the weekend. So that was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't have to do nothing. Just sit there like a queen.
All right, I have another fun question for you.
Okay.
You could only keep 4 items in your Spoonie toolkit. What would those 4 items be?
Okay. One just popped right up because I can't do without it is my deep blue.
Yes.
And oh, I don't have it near me. Darn. I usually keep it on my nightstand. But they have a roll-on now. I mean, I know they have like the roll-on oils, but this one is like
It's like a stick now,
like a
right?
vapor stick, yeah. It's like that. And so I'm like, yes, now I don't have to get all over my hands and my hands aren't burning.
Okay, I'm glad
So
I'm not the only one that loves that.
yeah, so definitely deep blue. I would have to say a wrap, because I could wrap either my knee, my wrist, whatever the case may be, my elbow. So I would say a wrap, deep blue. Um, what else do I use all the time?
Lots of lotion.
Yes. Let's say a naproxen. I
Okay.
need a naproxen in there. And what else? I'm not, are you fond of like ice packs?
It depends. It
Oh,
really depends. It's funny because my daughter would rather do heat. I kind of like to do both. It just really depends on where the pain is and what's going on. But there are times where I definitely need to like ice my shoulder.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not an ice pack person, but I do like the little rice bags.
Sorry, there's an ambulance going by, so I muted
It's
it.
fine.
But you do the rice bags.
Yeah, the rice bags. I'll just put a drop of either peppermint or, some type of essential oil before I put it in the microwave, and then it gives that aroma off. So
I love
I would
those.
say those are my four items.
Do you have the various sizes of those?
Yes, I have one that literally goes from shoulder to shoulder, and then I have one long one for if I need it for my whole leg, and then I have the smaller ones for just a little smaller.
I
area.
love the ones for around the shoulders. Honestly, there's been times in the winter where I've slept with them around me, around my
Yeah.
neck. It was
Yeah.
so
In
good.
Washington, I would think you would have to.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great Spoonie toolkit. To go along with that, if you could create a guidebook for newly diagnosed warriors, what would be the first thing you'd add to the Spoonie 101 chapter?
Okay. Um, let's see. We'd have a chapter on not comparing yourself to other people because it and I'm going to put that in the chapter too, that you will compare yourself when you're first diagnosed because it's only natural. It's only you're going to see like other people doing things and you're going to be like, wow, I was once able to do that. Why can't I do it anymore? You know, I've had that in the beginning when I first started going, I always say when I was going downhill. I was like, why can't I just do these things? And you get really frustrated because you can't do them anymore. But you shouldn't compare yourself to everyone else because one day if you keep trying, you will get there. We're all going to have setbacks, with the flare up, with the next joint going down, who knows. So we're eventually going to have setbacks, so don't compare yourself to other people because it's just going to mess with you mentally, and it's just going to make it worse. So I would recommend not doing that.
I absolutely agree. And I mean, it kind of works both ways too. You can compare yourself to those that are doing really well, and you can compare yourself to those that are doing bad. And
Yeah,
so it can depress you because you're not doing as well, or it can depress you because you're worried that you're going to end up like the person not doing well.
right.
So it's kind of a slippery slope we have to be really careful of.
Yeah, definitely. And
So
then
I'm glad you brought that up.
another thing too is like people, well, I shouldn't complain because there's people out there with worse conditions than me. Yes, that is true, but you are struggling with something that your body has never been through before. So it's okay to say this hurts, I can't do it, because your body's not used to that and you're not used to that. So yes, there are people struggling and that have it worse than us that have, cancer and stuff like that. But this is what your body is struggling with now. And, you're having a tough time. It's okay. Say you're having a tough time. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's okay to not only share with people what's going on. It's okay to be angry and feel your feelings when you're in a flare. It's okay to be mad at your body for what you're going through. But there was somewhere I was going with this. But 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 you got to realize not gonna last forever, and we don't need
Correct.
to look at it like a life sentence. We just need to look at it as, okay, there's a hack for what I want to do and how to get through it. I need to find out the hack.
Yeah. Yep. There's always adjustments to be made.
Exactly. Would you rather have gotten your diagnosis? And this question's weird for you because you were 19, but that's okay. Would you rather have gotten your diagnosis 5 years earlier than you did, or 5 years later than you got it?
Um, I
Because that
guess
would
we
have
could
put
say
you,
later because,
yeah, that would have put you in like what,
14,
middle
14, 15.
school, early high
Yeah.
school? Ugh.
Yeah. So I would say 5 years later. And there's more medication now. So there's more medication. There's more tools and that we can use now. There's more helpful tips out there. It seems like, and I'm not sure if it's because I had just started this YouTube or the Instagram, but it seems like there's more and more people who are being diagnosed with it, and you can relate to them on that level. So I would say 5 years later.
I agree. Well, and I look at it this way too. As we age, we just get more knowledgeable, right? So
Right.
there you go.
There you go.
I'd always choose later. All right, here's a big one. If I asked you to nominate, which I am, a fellow Spoonie warrior for a Spoonie Sister highlight, who would you nominate and why?
Oh,
I know it's tough. We know so
yeah,
many good
there's
ones.
so many people. Yes. Um, let's see. Um, okay, so the first person that came, and I haven't talked to her in a while, and I've always meaning to message her and see how she's doing. And her Instagram name is In My Room. And um her room is spelled obviously Rheum. And her name is April. And she had also filmed herself going, well, it was a day in her infusion day. So she did a video of what it was like in her day of infusion. So I thought that was very interesting. And I know also Raven with RA does that too. And that it's very helpful to show other people who, because I've gone through infusions before as well, and it can be so draining because some people are there for like 6 hours, 3 hours, and it's very draining. So to show other people that, it's just another eye opener to show people.
Oh,
So
yeah, I agree. I think it's good to kind of show the whole experience, what the room looks like, what it is they do, show if they have to draw your blood, show if they need to give you an allergy pill, because well, there's differences with different infusions, but it's just kind of
right.
good to see what people are walking through and how long it takes and what the experience is
Yeah.
like, and every location's different. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Yeah, because not everybody just takes a pill or not everybody just does an injection. There's times where people do have to go back to their doctor's office and sit there for hours while their medication is being pumped through their veins. And it's hard. I've been there, done it. It did help though. It did help me when I did it. But it's very draining, like I said.
Which infusions have you been on?
I've done the Orencia infusion and I've done the Rituxan infusion.
I've done the Orencia. I did not do the Rituxan, and I'm trying to remember why. I'm sure there was a good reason.
Yeah.
Orencia was not too bad. It was only like, what, 45 minutes to an hour? That one wasn't
Yeah.
too bad.
I think Rituxan is a lot longer.
Yeah, some of the ones I did, oh gosh, I was there like 3.5 hours. But there's those 6 hour ones that people do. I mean, they're there all day.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to go back. Well, I'm not sure if it was Orencia or Rituxan, but then you had to go back 2 weeks later and get like another 30-minute session or something like that.
Oh,
Maybe it
okay.
was Orencia. Or maybe it was just my doctor's office. I don't know.
Who knows? I don't remember
Yeah.
going through that. I do remember doing like it's almost like a loading dose and infusion with one of them. I don't remember which one it was though. What was your infusion room like?
It was it wasn't like it was just like a basic patient room at
Oh,
like the rheumatologist at the rheumatologist's office. It was just a basic patient. I mean, they had the two lounge chairs. So there was two people in there. But then they had when I was doing Rituxan, because it was longer, it was an actual like bed. So they made you comfortable, like just not a bed, but like
kind of like a hospital bed.
yeah, not a hospital bed. It was like the patient bed. What is it called? When when
Hmm.
you go into your doctor's office and they like lay you down, or
Like
like
a
if you go to get a pap smear and you put your
yeah, a
legs in the
fancy
stirrups, it was
table.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that kind of bed.
Oh wow. See, I've seen people show where there's are rooms like that. Ours was one ginormous infusion room with
Oh,
a lot of leather recliners.
right.
So I was in a room with a ton of people, depending on
Oh,
how busy it was and what time of day I went. And there were big screen TVs. They had a stand with coffee. They had a refrigerator with orange juice and other juices. I think they might have had soda. They had a basket full of snacks they would bring you. And yeah, I always,
ooh.
without fail, would end up with the chair with an old lady on each side of me, and they would give me that look. You poor thing, you're so young.
Oh,
And
yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you should
I
know by
know.
now. It doesn't matter the age. We all can get it.
I know. At this point, I'm like, thanks. Thanks. I do look young, don't I?
You know, one of my infusion nurses, her daughter was just diagnosed at the time, and her daughter was maybe 10, and she was
Oh,
about to start infusions. And all I could think is this poor girl has to go in this infusion room with all these old people who are going to feel sorry for her. And I don't want this girl to get the looks and to go through all the,
yeah.
oh, poor you. It's going to be hard enough being that young.
Mm-hmm. And then to be a teenager and deal with it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, and there's a lot of people that do, and I follow some of them, and it fascinates me to see their stories and how they handled it and how their families helped them. But wow.
Yeah. That's tough, man.
What would you tell your younger self about your current self? RA or not RA related?
Um, I would say that there's gonna be some bumps in the road, but it will get better. Because we're all gonna deal with that emotional roller coaster, that physical roller coaster. We're all gonna deal with it.
Give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Life is hard enough. Come on.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate the most about yourself?
Well, now I've found this great appreciation for my body. Before, it was, oh my God, I can't do this, or, I'm not going to go because I can't even do that. But, I just push myself, and I don't push myself to an extent where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm putting myself in danger. But I'm not gonna just stay home. I'm gonna go, and if I can't hike, at least I'm there to see the scenery. So my body has come a long way, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Now, if you had to make yourself a promise right now, what would your promise be?
Jen,
You can
these
think,
questions.
no. You can think Antoinette. When I reached out to her and asked, hey, can you give me some ideas of some questions? You're so good at them. She gave me like pages. And yeah, you can thank her because she had some doozies and I love them.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, okay, the question again.
If you could make yourself a promise right now, what would that be?
Okay, my promise to myself would be, oh, that's a tough one.
I know.
But it's good. It's good. It's making me think. A promise to myself. I promise to just take care of myself, to just, make sure I stay on my meds that work for me, to stay on my diet that, because I'm allergic to a list of things. I'm allergic to dairy and to eggs and to bananas and to cheese, milk. Yeah. So I was very strict for the longest time where if the bread had, and I don't even know if it contained something that I was allergic to, but if it contained it, I just cut it out anyways. And so now I'm kind of more lenient as to what I'm eating. And I have noticed a difference, but because now that I'm pregnant, I don't really get that much flare-ups when I eat them. But I promise to keep that diet because I don't want to put any more um I just don't want my body to have to go through that to fight these flare-ups because I'm consuming what I'm not supposed to.
How did you find out you had all these allergies? Did you have to be allergy tested or?
Yeah, so my second rheumatologist, because my first rheumatologist, I saw him for 2 years, and then he was just too far from where I had lived at the time. So my second rheumatologist, he was local, and he was the one that told me that it's probably something that I'm eating that's causing these flare-ups. So it was just through blood work. And I think it was like a week later, he called me back to his office and he gave me about like 3 or 4 pages that the blood work had tested for. And it turned out that I was allergic to eggs, bananas, cheese, milk. And he also told me that maybe later on down the line, I would have celiac disease. So, when people are allergic to gluten, because the marker, it wasn't high, but it was kind of like borderline. So I guess it is high, but but he said, yeah, it's something that I could develop over the years, but I haven't necessarily cut it out.
Well, that's amazing that your rheumatologist paid attention and helped you with that.
Oh yeah. So that's something that I recommend too when people ask me, why do I keep having these flare-ups? And you know, the most I can say is maybe you're consuming something that you shouldn't be, and that not a lot of people know that they're allergic to certain things because we just assume, oh, we're gonna get our throats clogged, or what is it called? Like
Oh,
like the natural reactions
where it
of
closes.
allergic. Yeah, where your throat closes,
There's a
you
word for that.
you get hives.
I can't think of it. Anaphylactic.
There you go. The words just,
I know. Sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not.
I know.
Brain fog at its finest, people.
Yes.
Okay, well, gosh, I've had a blast having you on here. Is there anything we haven't covered that you would like to bring up?
No, I think that's about it. I think we covered everything.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to have you and
Thank
to
you
be
for
able to
having me.
chat face to face.
I know.
And I'm gonna bug you. I'm gonna bug you about doing these hacks on makeup or any kind of fun tips that you can share with people. I think it'd be awesome.
Yes, bug me, please.
All right, where can everyone find and follow you?
You could find me on Instagram, LifeWithRa_. And on YouTube, it's also LifeWithRa.
And oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
As I talk over you, I will make sure I have all that in the show notes in case people, don't take the time to write that down. I'll make sure it's in there so they can find it. But anywhere else they can find you and
that's about it. I'm just on YouTube and Instagram right now.
Okay. And when your episode comes out, we'll make sure we share all kinds of fun information and get you talking throughout the week so they can get to know you better.
Yay.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. I was so excited to be here.
I was so excited
I'm home,
to have
but
you too. Yeah,
to be able
I
to talk
know.
to you.
Every time somebody books, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to wait. I want to do it now.
I know.
All right, Spoonie Sisters, until next time, don't forget your spoon.
Bye.
The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. The information should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, professional advice, diagnoses, or medical intervention. My Spoonie Sisters and guests will not be held liable for any of the consequences of such action or inaction. Trigger warning. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, and chronic disease. You are advised to refrain from listening if you are likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. None of the guests or hosts will be responsible for your use of the information contained therein. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Living a life with a chronic illness is best described with one word: unpredictable. Be Well's products are designed to make the unpredictable easier to deal with. Back when I was getting my infusions, I would have loved to have their adult zip hoodie. They even have one in pink. They also have everything from one-day pill holders to urgency buckets. So remember, they want to make your life a little easier. So be sure to check out Be Well.